today I'm doing another brilliant brainstorm, sort of. I'm going to be talking about a theory that's popular in the media. Now, this is not my theory. I don't know exactly who originated this theory, but I know it is a thing. So, I'm just saying that now. I do not give myself credit for making this theory, but I will say that I'm going to be talking about this theory, and I'm going to be expressing my own opinions about how I think this theory fits, and giving my own little hints of what they possibly could do, or what certain things could mean, and maybe stuff that the person who originally made this theory missed, or stuff that other people have done. I don't know. Today I'm talking about something that's not necessarily old, it's just something that I'm not quite sure about. So, when I was growing up, I grew up on a TV show called Fairly Odd Parents. Now, this is a cartoon about a little boy named Timmy who had fairies who would grant wishes for him because he was, sad and lonely and whatever. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because recently, now I'm not quite sure, people have told me both things. I think the show ended or it got canceled. I'm not quite sure about that. But if you guys still get the channel, let me know. As far as I know, I don't get it, but maybe that's just my TV provider. Now, as far as I knew, when they ended it was recently in the season that they added this new girl, Chloe. Chloe was this girl that they added that, due to this quote-unquote fairy shortage, that Timmy had to share his fairies with Chloe. Now, that's not the thing I'm talking about. Way before they introduced Chloe, back somewhat in the early, somebody started thinking about the whole, how the fairies appear to Timmy. Now, this theory can be a little dark, so if you suffer from any, depression or any of that type of thing, please, don't get upset, or if that type of stuff triggers you, don't continue to watch this video, okay? Somebody started to make the theory that the fairies don't actually exist. Somebody made the theory that Timmy, having to deal with what he deals with, his parents constantly leaving him alone and neglecting him, having to deal with his evil babysitter Vicky, and somewhat other stresses of school and life, he suffers from depression, which is horrible for a 10-year-old. Obviously, it must have gotten to the point where Timmy needed medication. Now, people made the theory that the fairies are supposed to are his physical representation of the pills that he has to take. Wanda represents a pill that's supposed to help rationalize and keep you focused on things. And Cosmo is supposed to represent a pill that is supposed to counteract the sad emotions and make you feel happier. Now, they say that the reason why this, really, what makes this theory interesting is that 90% of where you see the fairies in the show are in Timmy's bedroom. Obviously, you could make the fact that, it's just because they have to keep it a secret. But if you were left alone, and you wanted to be left alone, and you wanted secrecy, and you wanted privacy, just to be left to your own, somewhere where you could feel safe and comfortable, where would you go? Your bedroom. So it's thought that the pills and his bedroom are the same, it's somewhere where he feels safe using the pills and somewhere where he could be comfortable. Now, I think this theory is fun. Obviously, yes, it's dark and it's sad. If this is if Butch Hartman comes out and says, yeah, this is something I was somewhat hinting towards, but I never made it concrete. That's the main part of the theory. I don't know how much I believe into it. I think it's fun. Somebody thinks that it could be like, all TV shows or children's TV shows have at least one or two dark theories. This is just one of those. Now, I'm going to lean into the fact, I'll go this far to the theory where I'll believe that Cosmo and Wanda are maybe these two pills. Sure. Now, I'm going to bring up something that, as far as I know, the theory doesn't cover. But I've heard other people somewhat talk about it. But this is just what I've heard people say and what I personally think. Now, going back to the whole fairy shortage thing, they added two fairies to the show. They added Poof, the baby, and they added that dog, Sparky. Now, shortly after they introduced this Chloe character, at least to my knowledge, they just disappear in the show. They're not seen that much, almost ever, unless I'm just missing out. If the theory does go that Cosmo and Wanda are supposed to be antidepressants, my question is, what does that make Poof and the dog? Right? Some people, along with me, or at least what I think, is that Poof is my thinking is either two things. Either one, he's another antidepressant, but I don't know which. Like, obviously, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a pharmacist, I wouldn't know what Poof maybe would represent, because he's a baby. So I don't think he's an antidepressant. My thinking is that he's just a representation of Timmy's, lost innocence. Because of his depression, because of how his parents treat him and Vicky treats him and everything else, he never really got to grow up and be a kid, He never really had a normal life. He didn't play. He was probably stuck home in his room a lot and neglected, which is horrible and sad. On these antidepressants, obviously, maybe he started to have doubts and thoughts. And I think Poof is supposed to be the representation of his lost innocence or childhood. And he doesn't have any real distinct characters because he's a baby. And that could represent that Poof was maybe his, representation of what he could have been if he grew up, I guess, without these pressures in life. I don't know. And as for Sparky, the dog, I go towards the fact that Timmy is alone. Timmy is sad, unfortunately. He needs somebody to be loyal to him. He needs loyalty. He needs companionship, right? What's the most loyal thing we in the media say is on this planet? A dog. Dogs will be loyal and love you no matter what. So, and I kind of lean the fact that maybe, since Timmy is dependent on the pills, quote unquote, maybe he wanted the feeling of something being dependent on him for a change. Something needing him instead of him needing something else. And even a little bit deeper, I started thinking about Jorgen, the character. He's not in the show that much, but when they started saying about this fairy shortage, throughout the show, Jorgen has pressured Timmy to accept the fact that one day, eventually, Cosmo and Wanda won't be there. Cosmo and Wanda are going to have to, one day Timmy will grow up and he is going to have to learn to live without them, right? Now, if you go down this road of connecting these two things, the pills and this, just frame of mind of one day you're going to have to not live with that, not have them in your life, it makes a lot of sense. This is the one thing that, brings bridges the two together. Because when Timmy grows up, maybe he won't need these pills anymore. Because he'll be grown up and he won't have all these pressures that he had as a child. And not only that, but he's constantly pressuring that Timmy is one day going to have to grow up. He's going to have to be a normal boy without fairies, right? Take out the fairies concept. He's going to have to grow up and be a normal person, quote unquote. I think Jorgen is supposed to be a representation of society, or, like, social pressure. Like, everybody in the world telling, like, he's supposed to be that, like, you know, overlooming thing of society of, like, you have to be a certain way, and that's just how it is. Like, it's just the pressure of society saying Timmy is going to have to be a certain way, or they're trying to make him a certain way. You know? No, like, that's just what I think. But I think he's supposed to represent, I guess, societal pressure of that one day he's going to have to try to live without these antidepressants, and or he's just going to have to try to be, quote-unquote, normal, whatever that means. I mean, I don't know how much, if you guys have heard about too much of this theory. I don't know if you've heard certain pieces and you haven't heard others. I'm just giving my thoughts or my opinions or just, like, talking about how I feel about this theory. Obviously, if Timmy is on antidepressants, that's very sad. Children should be children, and they shouldn't have to worry about the pressure of taking medications every day, especially if they're depressed. And he shouldn't, you know, and it seems like nobody does anything either about the show. Like, in the show, nobody's, like, telling him, you know, oh, it's all gonna be, like, everybody still pressures him to try to be a certain way. Everybody, you know, like, you know, I think this theory is dark, like any, you know, there's a lot of dark theories, you know, go watch Channel Frederator, go watch, you know, Film Theory or any of those channels that talk about certain things like this. I just wanted to talk about this one because I was talking about it with a gaming friend online, and he asked me what I thought about it, and I told him this that I'm talking about, and I asked him about if he knew if the show ended, and because I stopped getting the channel, and as far as when I asked, I got both answers. I said, I heard that, oh yeah, it's still on, but it's just not as great as it used to be before they added Chloe and the dog. And then I've heard, oh yeah, it ended a long time ago. Like, I guess they just ran it into the ground. So I just thought, since maybe a lot of my viewers, depending on your age, or a lot of people would know about the Fairly Odd Parents, maybe you could either tell me if you still get the channel, or if you have heard this theory, or if how you guys feel about it. I think the theory is interesting, but it obviously hurts a little, the fact that such an innocent thing, like a child's TV show, is, you know, somebody created this dark theory of something that's supposed to be bright and colorful and whatever, you know, like a lot of other TV shows. But, yeah, otherwise, I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. I think the theory is, yeah, it's sad, I guess, but I think it's a lot of fun, and I think, you know, I don't know. Is there anything you want to...
The only thing I could say is that, like, the depression is one of those things that you should talk about, whether it's with, you know, a parent, a grandparent, a friend, somebody that you trust, that's not going to judge you. Absolutely.
There are phone numbers, you know, if you are depressed, or if you feel like you aren't...
But it needs to be more in the forefront this way, that if a child or anybody is experiencing this, they have someplace to turn, and they don't feel shunned or, you know, bad about, oh, I feel this way, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the way you feel. It's just,
there's definitely support groups. There's phone numbers. You know,
There's definitely help out there.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about this theory because I didn't know about the show, and I wanted to know what you guys thought about the show, maybe growing up. Also, one more thing, not to like break off subject. My gaming friend that I was talking about earlier, he just subscribed to my channel. If you guys have been with me for a long time, like ever since maybe the beginning or whatever, you might have remembered a small series I did called Theater Thursday. He said that he watched a few of those videos and he thought they were good, and he thought I should bring it back. I said I don't know. I said I'd ask you guys if you guys think I should bring it back, and if I did, what movies I should talk about. Obviously, I'll talk about old movies, new movies, and even I'll do certain maybe trailers of movies or TV shows. But obviously, that's up to you guys. If you guys comment in on if you liked that series, if you know the series I'm talking about. If not, go check them out. If there's certain movies you want me to hear review, please let me know, and I'll check it out. But that wraps up this video. If you have any suggestions, write down in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!